Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Turns out we were totally unprepared for a summer game fest that actually includes Nintendo stuff. Sure, I'll take you to a good place. Heh heh heh. So the Nintendo Cartridge Society takes you to a good place with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I'm always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to talk about the news from the week, including all the game announcements that were made outside of the Nintendo Direct. And then on Thursday, we are revisiting the first year of the Switch 2. But Mark, in the meantime, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Do I have anything interesting to talk about?
And sometimes I feel like you come in here like locked and loaded, and you're like, I'm doing so good.
Yeah,
this is the thing that I want to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like I'm bone dry right now, but I mean, things are going fine.
Things are going good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. How are you? What's going on with you?
I watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit last night.
Oh, okay.
That's a great film.
Yeah. Any particular reason?
Sarah said... No, she was thinking about it and wanted to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and so we did. And it's I realized that if, like, that's one of those things that she could ask me to do at any time, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Just drop everything?
Yeah, it's like whatever else, we could do, I could be watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Do you know, I really like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I haven't seen it for a really long time. But yeah, it's a total classic. I've never liked the little shorts that they did later, like the one in front of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah,
like that are just
Roger and Baby Herman. Yeah.
Right, like cartoons like they would be in universe shorts.
Yeah,
I never liked those. I don't care for those at all.
Why would you like them though?
Yeah.
Right? Like they're just like, you're not going to put on like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah, but I think these are like significantly worse than
of
just
course
like
they are.
I know, but what I'm saying is like, I think it's crazy that they made them. I mean, maybe it's not crazy because Roger Rabbit was hugely successful.
Right.
But I don't think they're any good, and I don't think they're any fun to watch.
So, I mean, like, what is so fun to watch about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, no question mark in that title, just Who Framed Roger Rabbit, is...
First base.
Thank you. That's how they conclude that, right? Just by saying thank you. It doesn't matter. I'm about to say something stupid and obvious. It's cartoons and a noir, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But there is on Disney Plus, there's like a 45-minute like making of featurette, which like, the frame rate, is like made for TV. So like there's that thing where there's the sort of like combining of like odd numbered frames or whatever, so it's got like weird scan lines in it, and the resolution is like super low, but like they pulled off a magic trick making that movie, and it's just cool to see like Zemeckis and the animation director like talking about all of it, and it's super fun. Totally recommend. Next time, Mark, you watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit, watch also this making of documentary. If you want to hear us talk more about movies, that just happened organically. I didn't mean to do that at all. You can head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you are supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the Movies.
Yes, where Patrick, myself, and usually a special guest are going to the movies together, watching a movie, and then talking about it. We just released an episode over the weekend about Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day with special guest in front of the show, Greg L. Smith.
Yes, listeners of the show will know Greg, and will know that he is very smart about movies.
Yeah, so that was a really fun discussion to have about that movie. Really interesting movie, a lot to talk about there. And I think we're going to be releasing another episode later this month, right at the end of the month, for Supergirl.
Yeah, I think just as like the movies are coming at us, we're kind of like, we're committed to at least one a month.
Yeah, we're like Lucy when the chocolates are coming down the assembly line.
That's right, and I'll be like Ethel. Remember, they both had that job.
Yeah, no, I yes.
Was that as a function of like the men saying like, oh, you couldn't hack having a job for one day?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch I Love Lucy?
I watched Lucy a lot, yeah.
I remember it being on during the day, like when I was home from school
watching
in
like at night,
the summer.
yeah.
Oh yeah, but I have like no memory of really watching the show ever. So I have no idea what the setup for that moment is.
If you're interested in other miniseries that we have out on the Patreon, they're available at the 4-bit level or even the free level. There's more stuff there, so just go and check that out. See what interests you and what you're interested in paying for.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who follows us over on Patreon.
Yep. Thank you. Also, you should be in our Discord if you would like an invitation. All you gotta do is email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. Send you an invitation, you hop in there, you have a good time chatting with us and other people about Nintendo. Mark, let's talk about what we've been playing this week. Can't believe this is the first chance I'm getting to talk about playing Mina the Hollower.
I know, it's...
Last week screwed us up so bad.
Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Direct, we love you more than anything. You give our lives meaning. So I've been playing Mina the Hollower. I have not had as much time as I would have liked to sink into it by this point in time, because I had some friends in town, and so I played a little bit with them, but mostly, it's just been me stealing time here and there to play. I am 3 dungeons into this game, and I'm trying to make my way to the Bone Beach right now for the 4th dungeon and take down the 4th generator. I'm getting a little bit lost and a little bit turned around, but that's okay. I don't mind it. I am still like actively discovering stuff as I am like punching my way through the map and trying to like navigate around. The game famously doesn't have as you're exploring, doesn't have a map that you can just pull up. You can access like a world map that is not super detailed from your hollow, which is like the sort of like save/safe point that you like burrow into a couple different like places throughout the map.
Is that like the save rooms in a Metroid game?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're but yes. Anyway, I'm just having a blast. Mina is so fun to control. This like burrowing, like you jump, and then you burrow into the ground. And when you're underground, you have like a very like free dash that moves like quite far, quite quickly. And then she pops out the other side, and then like attacking the second you jump out.
So like the Halloween part of it, it's not like the drill power up in Mario where you're just like underground and you can maneuver underground freely. It's like there's a very clear momentum to it.
There's a clear momentum to it and a clear like length of like distance that you can hollow that you can burrow. But there are trinkets, which are what they call the sort of like passive power ups that you equip that can like increase the length of the burrowing, can cause you to like leave a little trail of like damaging goo when you're burrowing, or where you pop out for there to be like a point of like explosion. So like there are all these different ways to sort of change that mechanic in interesting ways. You also, because you go faster when you are burrowing, when you pop out of it, your jump is a little bit longer. So there are parts of the game where you have to, and quite frequently, like burrow into the ground and then pop out so you can like clear a 2-block jump, or like start that and then in the air use another thing that like gives you more horizontal distance to like close gaps. And so between the sub weapons and the trinkets and the burrowing, there are just so many offensive and locomotive like options that the game feels like imminently traversable, even in parts where you're like you'll come up to something and be like, oh, I don't think I can pass this yet, but like if I really thought about it and really messed with my like trinkets and sub weapons, I could probably pull it off. It's a very like interesting, freeing feeling, and it's the kind of thing where you're engaging with like sequence breaking, and that can be of course be exhilarating, but I feel very infrequently like I'm in the wrong area, right, and like that I shouldn't be somewhere yet. I'm kind of just following like the recommended path. You can read the newspapers in the game which tell you like give you hints on where to go next, but I'm loving it. I'm loving Mina.
Are the generators like Zelda dungeons?
Yeah, basically. So the generators are, Mina invented all of these generators, and they're placed around the island, and they create the electricity that the people on the island use to live nice lives. but there's something wrong with them, and so she has to go and repair them all. Although as you go on, it's a little bit like maybe they've been sabotaged because the generators are actually doing bad things. Anyway, doesn't matter. Or I don't know how it concludes yet. But so yeah, there's like a lead up to each of them that is usually there's like a story about like the people who live in that area and like the thing that's going on there. And so there's that very much like approach to the dungeon, and then like the dungeon itself, which is kind of just more straight up combat and like puzzle challenges. Though I would say those bleed together a lot more than they do in like a Zelda game. The approach in the dungeon itself, and then the generators are at the top of these towers, and there's this fun like mini game where you're like scaling the tower, and the game has a very I'm gonna be bad at describing this, but there's like a faux like 3D effect of like the roundness of the tower as you're scaling it, and there are like traps and enemies and stuff you have to like navigate around as this like electrical pulse is chasing you up the tower. And they're kind of consequence free. Like if you get hit by that electrical ring, it just like shoots you back to the beginning and you try it again. So they're a lot of fun, and in a way that like the rest of the game can feel kind of stressful. Like you can lose a lot when you're like just out adventuring and you get killed. So yeah, just to be a little bit consequence free during those tower ascents is
Are
fun.
there boss battles at the end of every generator?
Yeah.
And then are you returning to previous areas a lot, like for traversal, just like passing through or like shops and stuff like that, or not really? Once you do an area, you kind of like move on to the next.
No, I am revisiting areas, but so I just unlocked an upgrade to the Hollow that I have a map in the Hollow, like I said, and it'll show like the number of treasure chests that are in there versus what I've gotten, and so that sort of compelled me to go back like looking for some other stuff. But and like the traversal again is like so kind of knotty, and like there are so many places where you like drop ropes, or like you are able to stand in one place to like smash a thing so that like when you come back from the other direction you can get there quicker. But it means that you are still like starting to go through some of the same areas. You're just not like completing the whole loop to get around the map.
Yeah, I see. You're going to be talking about this for our friends at
Yes, the video games and comedy show,
yeah.
the Super NPC Radio. Yes, doing their games club, which we're starting recording next week. And it was my goal at that point to have finished the game and be like starting it again. I don't know that I'm going to hit that necessarily, but yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to drill down into. And I have no concept of how they're programming the thing, because it genuinely is like go anywhere. But I'm excited to find out.
How far would you guess you are? Like, are there 4 generators and then it's like a link to the past where like a whole other thing happens? Or
So there are 6 light bulbs around the fountain, and I've lit up 3 of them with those 3 generators. I imagine there are 3 more, and then final challenge.
I see. Okay.
But also I don't know. I've put maybe like 10, 11, 12 hours, something like that, into the game. Which feels right. Like I think most reports are that it's like a 20 to 30 hour game, and I'm right about there. Yeah,
Cool. That sounds awesome.
yeah, I'm really really loving it.
Yeah, I picked it up, but I'm not sure when I will have a chance to play it. I was super late to Shovel Knight, so maybe that's just my thing with Yacht Club games.
Might be.
I've been playing a little bit of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I had like a procedure on my eyes this past week, so I wasn't playing a ton of video games, but put a little bit of time into it. And so for people who have played the game, I'm past the Vatican now. So I am still early. And one thing that I have found in the Vatican, I was doing a lot of the side quests that come up. And the game is pretty clear that it's like, once you do this next story beat, you're not going to be able to do these anymore. And so I was like, okay, yeah, like I'm going to do them, try to get a feel for what these side missions are like. And I would say that I found them to be not particularly rewarding. Not that they were, for the most part, they were fine and like fun, and put me into areas that I otherwise wouldn't have been, and different things like that. So I was exploring parts of it that I would have missed if I was just mainlining the story. But it has kind of been an easier decision for me now. Like, oh, I don't need to worry about these. Like, I don't, based
sure.
on what happened in the Vatican doing the side missions, I don't feel like I need to spend, I'm not a completionist really in games. And so I don't feel like I need to spend anymore. However, if people have played the game and they're like, no, you should do the side missions in this place that you're going to be going to.
Sure. So let's get some coaching for Mark
yeah,
here.
Exactly. Because if there's something good, I don't want to miss it.
Okay.
But I don't want to put
Mark
in the effort
doesn't want to miss
myself.
anything good, but
I don't
not experience anything bad.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I will be furious if you direct me to do something that I end up not liking.
If Mark does one side quest that he decides isn't that good, he'll be furious.
The other thing that's interesting, and honestly, this is one of the things where I am not sure if the game at one point, like within the story or like within like me experiencing it, told me to do this and I just forgot or missed it or wasn't paying attention. But the game has a lot of like, and you could probably turn this off in the menu, but the game is constantly like reminding you and like prompting you of things.
Right.
Where it's like when I was in the Vatican, there are like medicine things that you can pick up. And I think you were supposed to like go back to some pharmacy, which is possibly the thing that kicked off like the side quest that is like the medicine things to upgrade your stamina. And I never did that. And so then I was in because again, like I don't remember the game telling me that was a mechanic. But then I saw it like pop up being like text literally on the screen being like,
oh, interesting.
You can go back to the pharmacy to upgrade your stamina.
Hey, idiot.
And health.
Yeah.
And guess what? This idiot didn't do that. So then I get to the end of the Vatican and there's like a fist fight with like a big bad. And I'm like, uh-oh, I didn't upgrade my health or stamina. And I don't know that I can back out of this at this point to go do that.
How do you resist upgrading health and stamina?
I didn't want to be bothered to try to remember where the pharmacy was.
Isn't upgrading health and stamina like the most satisfying thing in a video game? Unlocking new characters, upgrading health and stamina. Yeah. Those are the two things.
Yeah, I really did not want to be bothered trying to remember where the pharmacy was.
You know, we should do a list of most satisfying things in video games, like upgrading health. Like level up.
We should
level up. Learning a new spell.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yes, I'm actually going to add it to our list of
good
topic.
Idea. You know what? I don't care for getting a new gun. I don't need.
Yeah,
I'm not that excited about it.
Okay, so best things. we'll remember what this is.
We'll know what it means.
But anyways, I'm enjoying the game. Like I said when I first started playing it, I really think that they do an excellent job of in like story moments and the characters and like the script of capturing the things that make a good Indiana Jones film exciting, and like the humor. Like I really think that they've done an excellent job with that. And
performance is good, fun.
Yeah. Yes, like the character performances. Yeah, totally. I am not that crazy about stealth games, and at least where I'm at it so far, the game is definitely much more about like, which makes sense, based on the movies, but like avoiding fights as much as possible. It doesn't really want you to just like run into a room because you don't have the equipment to be overwhelmed. Like if too many guys are coming at you, you have a revolver, but
but so do they.
But some like the Nazis have machine guns,
right?
And so that part of it also has been something that I'm just kind of like getting used to, where it's like I can't play this game like I normally play games. Like I have to engage with like the stealth part of it. It's not excruciating or anything, but it is definitely, if I had my druthers, I'm much more of a just like run into the room and just like mess things up.
Well, so like what if Leon S. Kennedy was at the Vatican?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. You understand where I'm coming from.
I do. I totally get it.
But yeah, I am enjoying it.
While my friends were here, I had friends visiting, Andrew, Ethan, and Taylor. They were the only people and myself that I had made in Tomodachi Life when the game first came out. And I was just like, okay, like I wasn't having a ton of fun with the game, mostly because anytime I made a new me, I was like, it needs to look like, I was like, I wanted to really drill down and it be all people that I knew and all that kind of stuff. But at some point, I was like, have you guys seen Tomodachi Life? I made all of us in it. We can play it. And so we started playing, and then we made our wives and girlfriends. And then, like, well, I mean, we spent probably like 9 hours playing Tomodachi Life while they were here, just letting giving them all strange nicknames for each other. And anytime it was like, what are they going to talk about? We'd be like, here we go. It's got to be like something ridiculous. And that we would like write up what they're talking about. Took like none of the game's prompts. We were like, no way. You don't tell us what's funny. We tell you what's funny. And then by the end, like the whole thing is just nonsense, but we're also like made all the characters pansexual. So now my girlfriend is married to Taylor's wife, and they're talking about ridiculous stuff. We were playing with just those 8 me's for a while. And then I was like, I think that like the way to keep progressing this is to add another character. So we made Tom Cruise.
Oh, hi.
And he was talking about like the glory of Xenu and all that kind of stuff. And so now there's a virulent strain of Scientology running through my island, which is not my favorite. But what are you gonna do? You can't really control what happens on those things. But had an absolute blast playing it with my friends. Sort of can't imagine playing that game by myself. Like sitting there and like typing little jokes and then like seeing the jokes spoken back to me so I can just be like, by myself feels lame. But with other people in the room, it rocked. So I don't think I'm ever going to turn it on again. But I had like one great afternoon with it.
Yeah.
But that's most of what we've been playing this week. Mark, let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
We, of course, will check in on Nintendo Music.
We simply must.
Wii Sports Resort, timely with the announcement of Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. And then also, Mario Kart World added the Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 free roam tracks. It's an interesting way to do it. I guess it makes sense by, like, game. I don't know how long they'll be able to keep that up.
It's weird because they already release music by game. It's just like music by game being referenced within Mario Kart World.
Right.
It's weird.
But like, yeah. But I wonder how many games they can do that for.
Sure.
That'll be discrete, or at some point if they'll have to be like, and here's the NES collection. You know what I mean?
Yeah. An odds and ends. Kind of thing.
But nice. I wasn't sure how long we'd have to wait for free roam tracks after they had started putting Mario Kart World stuff on there, because the free roam tracks are my favorite parts of the soundtrack in that game.
Me too.
So I'm glad to see that they are already coming.
The Wii Sports Resort music is also like kind of fun.
Yes.
That there's a lot of it that, and like, if you listen to just sort of like Nintendo mixes on like YouTube or whatever, that a lot of these tracks, or a lot of the good tracks, get featured in those from time to time, because at its best it is like that super chill, like summertime city pop groove that is just sort of like relaxing and hypnotic. Occasionally it veers a little bit too into like kind of circusy, like doot doot doot, with like an organ kind of sound, which can get obnoxious. But the music that's good in it is actually quite good. I mean, and I know there have been like videos of this, but or like YouTube videos of this, but like the Wii music at its like best, between like the Wii Shop channel and like the Weather channel and Making Me's and Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, is just some like all-time great Nintendo working music that I don't like. That's the platonic ideal of music as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I thought that the Nintendo Switch Sports music was a good like successor to that. And so I expect that the Switch Sports Resort soundtrack will also be pretty good.
I agree.
And then as far as games releasing this week, on Wednesday, June 17th, Pokemon Champions, which previously, released on Switch, it will be available on mobile.
I wonder if they are introducing like any more functionality or Pokemon or whatever with that, because I know that at its launch it was a little threadbare feature-wise. I guess feature bear. Uh, oh no, yeah, just or if it's just like no, now it's just available on mobile.
Right, right.
Probably the latter.
And then on Thursday, The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, is released. Switch 2 exclusive. This is the HD 2D game from Square Enix that seems to be following in the footsteps of the classic Zelda games.
Yeah, or like Secret of Mana.
Yeah.
That it's more of like an action RPG than it is like a turn-based guy. There's a demo available right now. Your progress carries over to the main game. I've played that demo. I don't think I'm gonna jump into the like. This is like Prime get it on sale game as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, it's like a $60 game. So I'm gonna wait, but it's a cool looking game for sure.
And then on Friday, on the 19th, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild original soundtrack is released on vinyl. This is something that was announced maybe a year ago, 9 months ago, something like that.
A while ago.
And had been available for pre-order. There was like a standard version and then like a deluxe version that was like 4 LPs or something like that. But
right.
It finally releasing. I would say that this is a big deal in the sense that these sorts of releases are pretty standard in Japan, but we haven't seen Nintendo do the sort of game soundtrack release on physical media outside of Japan. And so hopefully this is successful for them. I think they're doing it. I can't remember the name of the company, but they're doing it in collaboration with another company.
I think you would have to here, right? That's just the big enough country that.
But so it'll be interesting to see if this is the start of something and if we see more of these sorts of releases going forward.
Yeah, I mean, especially from Nintendo, right? Like, I feel like the game soundtrack on vinyl is like a genre of thing that exists in the world now, and Nintendo just has not been part of that. So, all right, well, that's what's coming out this week. Let's close this segment out. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of the show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I'll talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Today we're talking about lemonade, the drink.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Summertime, it's been warm in LA. It's been making me think about like summertime activities.
Yeah.
Lemonade.
Did you ever do set up like a lemonade stand?
Yeah,
you
definitely.
did. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Did you not?
I don't think so. Which is strange because as a kid, I feel like I was always scheming ways to like make money.
Oh, sure. You were a little rascal.
I don't know why. Yeah, I was a little rascal. Did the little rascals sell lemonade?
No, but I mean, I feel like they were. Maybe you weren't a rascal. Maybe you were a scamp. Maybe you were more of a scamp than a rascal.
Scoundrel.
Yeah.
But you did. You set up a
yeah, I mean, I would say I have done it between
every summer of your life.
Yeah, between 5 and 10. Between 5 and 10 times, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that a rewarding experience or was it?
I remember it being fun.
Yeah.
I don't really remember selling a lot of lemonade or.
No, but it's kind of more about just like playing store.
Yeah,
at that
and like
point, right?
Receiving money is very exciting.
It's very exciting,
especially as a child. Like to have people, and whenever I see,
and you got no overhead.
You have zero overhead,
right?
But and when if I'm in my neighborhood and I see a kid doing like a lemonade stand, like I will absolutely stop and like buy something for sure.
When that happens, you have to like pay him with Zelle or something, or have you got $1?
No, I usually carry like a small amount of cash with me. Yeah. Enough for, I guess, when there are.
It's not a lot of money. If anyone sees Mark out, he does not have a lot of.
I consider this the sign that is like. Store only has like $20 in the safe.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm carrying a very small amount of money.
Very small amount of money.
I can buy like one glass of lemonade at one of these stands.
Right, but that money is on him at all times. But we're not necessarily talking about like the concept is lemonade.
Yeah,
generally
growing up,
speaking.
did you or are you a lemonade drinker now? What lemonade, hot or cold? What's your
I would
opinion?
prefer it to be cold. No, I don't. There aren't too many like kind of sweet drinks really that I imbibe at this point in my life. I'm mostly a water or flavored water or alcohol guy.
Sure, yeah.
um, but I will say, an alcoholic lemonade, a bad time almost universally, right?
Like a Mike's Hard.
Like a Mike's Hard, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like the go-to for like a bad. But I will indulge in a lemonade from time to time.
Yeah, I occasionally like a lemonade. I like when you go to like a restaurant and they have like a raspberry lemonade or something.
Oh yeah, the thing is, I feel like lemonade classic is always going to be the best.
That's all you need. You don't want a pink lemonade.
I don't want a pink lemonade.
Growing up, we didn't drink a lot of lemonade like Country Time or that
Sure,
sort of thing.
right.
But what we did drink a lot of was Crystal Light.
Yeah, we did a lot of Crystal Light too. I mean, you and I are of similar age, growing
Yeah.
up in the '80s when it was like. Obviously, we know we should all be drinking soda all the time, but we don't want to have to do that. So here's a sugar-free Kool-Aid, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, they either had they had a lemon flavor or something that like approached lemonade.
I'm pretty sure it was called. Yeah, I guess I can't say for certainty, but I would be willing to bet because they also had a pink lemonade variation. So I
Yes,
think it was
yeah, that's
probably
right.
just like lemonade. And they came now if they have it at all, because you know how now they have the it's like liquid flavoring.
Yeah, sure. That you just like drip.
Yeah,
into the
so I
thing.
don't know if the
Like
powdered
a Mio.
Yes,
Yes.
but I don't know if the powdered stuff exists anymore. But if it
It
does,
used to be in that like little plastic cup,
the
right?
little plastic
Right.
cup.
We're both like
yeah,
making
it's like a
hand
little
gestures, like we're
communion
holding.
cup. Yeah. Uh-huh.
We
Yeah.
always just drank right from the right from the like a cup, like for communion. I'm saying. That
Oh.
we didn't have like the little plastic shot glasses of communion wine.
Yeah, I'm not Catholic, so I actually don't have any
Right.
idea what.
More than just Catholic state communion, Mark.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I really showing my ignorance here, but yes, it came in the little cup.
Yes.
And yeah, we would frequently have that, me and my siblings, with like dinner.
You know, when I was in, I think our recording of 433 has ended.
Oh, okay.
With no applause, but like I liked the nature noises.
Right. At the beginning, I couldn't tell if it was a vacuum cleaner. It doesn't matter. We'll never know.
We were accompanied today by Andrew Rangel. All right, Mark, let's get into the news.
Yeah, so there, of course, was the Nintendo Direct last week,
Huh?
which we had an opportunity to talk about. But there was a whole Summer Game Fest that happened that in past years, Nintendo has not factored in at all.
Right. That it's like the rare like indie game or like, what like low tier
Yeah.
whatever that would actually make it to a Nintendo platform. But things are changing, Mark.
Yeah, with the Switch 2, like big announcements from the show are going to be on Switch 2, which has never happened before on a Nintendo platform. So this
Which,
is our yeah.
that obviously did a lot to like sort of change the tenor of the Nintendo Direct. Like there was not really that much first party stuff in there, right? Especially in terms of like new announcements.
Mhm.
But there was a lot of third party stuff that was either surprises or like genuine new information. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 4, right? Like, huge.
And not very much overlap with what was announced at Summer Game Fest.
Right.
So it's like there was a ton announced at the Nintendo Direct, plus there was significant stuff at Summer Game Fest. So the Switch 2 really seems to have successfully unlocked a lot of third-party support.
Yes.
Especially compared to the Switch. We're not seeing, especially from, I would say, Japanese third
yeah.
parties. We're still not seeing a lot of support from, EA or anything like that. But still some significant announcements from Activision. I mean, we know Call of Duty is coming. That wasn't part of the presentation. So a lot going on. Plus, the show opened with an insanely exciting announcement. This had been rumored before, but Resident Evil Veronica was revealed, dropping the code from the original game. Just Resident Evil Veronica coming in 2027 on Switch 2 as well as other platforms.
Yeah, and they like interviews since that announcement that they've said that they dropped the code, so it's sort of like in line with Resident Evil game like modern naming conventions.
Biohazard, Village, Requiem.
Sure, that there's just like a single word subtitle, but also I'm like, who cares? Like,
Well, also the remakes haven't followed that convention. They've just been Resident Evil 2, Resident
That's
Evil
right.
3, Resident Evil 4.
It's also a little bit of like, I'm gonna call this game Code Veronica for a long time. Maybe at some point I will get used to calling it just Veronica, but also like Veronica just sounds like you're talking about like a person's name,
Right.
whereas like Code Veronica, you're like, oh, that's something mysterious.
I'm really interested in how that they will change the canon of Code
Sure.
Veronica, like how they or like bend it or whatever to kind of fit the new reality that the remakes and the newer games have laid out that are slightly different from what was like the canon from the original releases.
Yeah, it should be okay though. Like Code Veronica gets in before the story like goes absolutely crazy. So there shouldn't be too much that they have to.
No, and I don't mean that in like a bad way where
Sure.
I'm like, ooh, I hope they don't kill any of my sacred cows. I'm just genuinely curious how, because Code Veronica has been a playground they haven't really like messed around with that much.
Yeah, that's true.
So I am very excited for this. I think this is going to be very cool. And again, the fact that it's on Switch 2 is awesome to me. I'm hoping that at some point we get ports of 2 remake, remake, and 4 remake. That would be incredible. In follow-up interviews, they confirmed that it is going to be third person only. There will be no option for first person. There's not going to be sections that are first person.
Right, which is a good thing for them to clarify because the trailer presents itself as a first person experience.
And they said they did that to try to throw people off, that it wasn't like a Resident Evil game.
Game trailers are so strange. There's no other medium where it's like, all right, we're going to, and I think that's sort of like the virtue of there being this sort of like captive audience experience of like a summer game fest, where it's like, I'm here, I'm expecting game announcements, but they will try to trick you into thinking that something is something else. Whereas like a movie trailer is going to show you what that movie is immediately,
right,
and then try to tell you about it. But yeah, I mean, I watched this trailer. I wasn't able to watch Summer Game Fest live, but I watched this trailer, and I don't really know that I get anything out of the trailer other than there's a Resident Evil Code Veronica remake.
Yeah, which again seems pretty purposeful to me that they were trying to like throw us off the trail. You're in Paris. There's an old woman. It's all kind of like
right, and that's all like incident that like occurs before the events of like you actually playing Code Veronica. So. That's fine.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're gonna get to play some of that stuff.
That could be cool.
Because like the original game opens with Claire like infiltrating an Umbrella like headquarters thing, and there's like explosions and a helicopter like chasing her down. So yeah, I think there's so many ways to build out the world of Code Veronica. I'm excited to see how they do that here.
Also, in one of those follow-up interviews, they were asked if Capcom had plans to put the original Code Veronica or the GameCube version of Code Veronica on Nintendo Switch Online, and the answer was no.
On Nintendo Switch Online?
Yeah, the GameCube.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I get. Was it on GameCube at some point? Code Veronica?
It must have been.
Yeah, I guess it must have been. I just always will think of it as a Dreamcast game.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that it was.
I suppose it had to have been.
Like when let's see, it was on GameCube, and I'm wondering if it's part of the Code Veronica X stuff that they did for Xbox. Or
I mean,
if that was
it's certainly
separate.
well, and the X is also the PlayStation 2 version.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
like I think as soon as it got off of the Dreamcast, it was Code Veronica X.
Okay.
But I guess maybe that is helpful in a little bit clarifying that they're dropping both the Code and the X, just to be like, no, this is just like the game.
Yeah, it'll be kind of its own thing.
I love this. I'm so excited. I can't wait to play Resident Evil Veronica in 2027. I hope that it is a early in the year release. It does seem like Capcom has been pretty good at like filling that space with a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, and with like a remake, like the remakes have all kind of launched
in there too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Requiem was a February release.
Yeah,
right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Speaking of Capcom, in addition to Resident Evil Veronica, plus all the games that they announced in the Nintendo Direct,
Onimusha, the rest.
Yes.
Can we name them or
Devil May Cry 5?
Right. Okay.
And then there
what was the one that was paired with Onimusha?
I know, that's what I am trying to
Don't look it up.
think of
Mark, don't look it up.
unsuccessfully. I am so tempted to. What
Yeah, I'm tempted to look it up too.
was it?
Onimusha and Dragon's Dogma?
Yes, that's
Dragon's
exactly
Dogma
what it
2,
was.
and then the same subtitle as the DLC of the original game.
That's right.
I'm going to count that as a victory.
Yes. So in addition to all of that stuff that they announced in a Monster Hunter Wild stream, they confirmed that a Switch 2 version of the game is in development. No other information about like release or anything like that. At Summer Game Fest, they revealed a new and quote massive expansion for Monster Hunter Wilds called Ascendance that's due out in 2027. So maybe we'll see the Switch 2 version around the same time as that releases. Also, I put it further down, but might as well call it out here because it's also Capcom related. That, or did I not put it in here? Tifa is coming. Oh yeah, Street Fighter 6 Year 4 DLC was announced. Yasmin, Arjun, Bosch, and Tifa from Final Fantasy VII is in the game.
Cool.
Or will be in the game.
I don't know these other characters. Arjun.
Bosch. Did I say Bosch? I think it's Bosch.
Well, either way, it's either Titus Welliver.
Exactly. I was
right?
going to say the beloved TV character.
Or the Trandoshan bounty hunter from Star Wars.
Isn't that Bosk?
Yeah, it's Bosk.
Studio MDHR, the developers behind Cuphead, announced 2 new games. A brand new hand-animated Cuphead video game, like sequel, that's early in development. And then also an 8-bit action platformer called Mighty Cuphead Adventure, which they're saying is programmed in classic assembly language and designed with the exacting specifications of the Sega Master System home video game console in mind. Just really specific. Yeah.
That's wildly specific. I don't know what I get from that.
Yeah. But I think that, so it was kind of like a 1-2 punch to my memory. It started with Code Veronica
right.
Being announced. And then there was this Cuphead announcement presented by like a puppet newscaster that I thought was pretty delightful. And this is going to be coming to Switch too, presumably. I can't remember if any platforms were announced.
Now, it wasn't the same puppet that was selling the game, the show.
MLB The Show?
MLB The Show.
No, it wasn't Pop or Coach or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I think Pop feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, happy to see the Cuphead developer making more Cuphead stuff.
And then let's just skip right to the end because the show closed with the reveal of Final Fantasy VII Revelation, the third and final part in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, announcing that the Switch 2 will be launching on the same date as other platforms. So it's a multi-platform release for the first time in spring 2027. And we found out later it's going to have more mini games than Rebirth. And I haven't played Rebirth yet, but I understand that there are a lot of mini games in that.
There are a lot of mini games. There are a lot of different things that you can commit your gameplay time to. And that's so well folded into the narrative and themes of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I imagine that it'll be the same here. It's possible they blow it, right? They go like crazy with it. But I mean, the way that they're pitching this final game is that like you get access to the Highwind, which is the airship, early in the game, and then you can literally go to any corner of the map you want to and run around it in real time. Which like, you know, obviously the first game in the remake series, you are just in Midgar and you're there the whole time. And the second one, you are accessing these like open world spaces, but one at a time, right? And it's a very like, it's it's open, but it's linear. And then this sort of like blows that all away. And the end of Final Fantasy VII is a lot more about like the world is under assault from both the weapons that are ostensibly there to protect it and this meteor that's like coming crashing into it. And it all ends, you know, wonderfully for for everyone. Sorry, sarcasm. But yeah, that the idea of being able to approach this sort of omnidirectional threat in any direction you want is very appealing.
And I think that Square Enix should be applauded for how quickly they've been able to follow up Rebirth with Revelation. It'll be what, like 3 years between the two games?
4 years, I think. Right? Did it come out 2003? Maybe it was 2004.
I am not sure, but their ability to
Yes, turn them around. Yeah.
and this one being like multi-platform, which I think will be it's a 2024.
Okay, yeah.
I think it'll be
Another February game, I believe.
like this will be the first one that they have been building with the Switch 2 in mind,
right,
instead of a late port, and so it'll be interesting to see how it compares technically, because they've had to make so many or they had to make some like changes and sacrifices to Rebirth to get it running on the Switch 2,
right.
and yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to play Rebirth. I really loved Remake, and I'm excited to play Rebirth, and now I'll have Revelation to look forward to as well.
Yeah, I wonder what spring means exactly. Like if they're targeting again that sort of like February window, or if it like can run a little bit later than that. Yeah, I think there are going to be some cool games to play next year.
Okay, so now the rest of this is where it gets murky. Was this in the Summer Game Fest presentation? Was it in one of like the other presentations that happened during the same time period? I couldn't tell you.
Also, who can remember? Do you think you can remember this? You can't. It was a week ago, a week and a half ago.
So here's some other stuff that happened. As part of their first year content roadmap for 007 First Light, IO Interactive reiterated that the Switch 2 version is still planned for summer 2026.
Okay.
Yes.
I hope that is still true. I hope that it winds up being true.
They announced Among Us Story on Guard, which is a new narrative game in the Among Us universe, coming to Switch and Switch 2, plus every other platforms. No release window for that one. The Wolf Among Us Remastered, as well as The Wolf Among Us 2, are planned for Nintendo Switch 2 and Switch. The first one, the remastered, launches this holiday, and then Wolf Among Us 2 comes in 2027. Again, other platforms, not just Switch and Switch 2. But
Wolf Among Us 2 is one of those games where I'm like, I will believe it when I see it. Like they've been that's a game that like kind of got the murdered in the crib when Telltale, right? Like kind of got shut down and swallowed up by other interests. But that is like the one persistent, like, no, they're still making, like, that team or those people are still making another one of these games. So I'll like I said, I'll believe it when I see it.
Alien Isolation 2 was revealed. No other information other than confirming the game exists, and Switch 2 will be one of the platforms it arrives on. A new Spyro the Dragon game was revealed. Spyro Realm Beyond.
Right, this is not a Final Fantasy 14.
No, this is not
expansion.
a Realm Reborn. This releases in 2027, being developed by Toys for Bob. And it's the first new Spyro the Dragon game since 2008. Like the new, not a collection or anything like that. Spyro is not a series that
me neither.
I grew up with because I didn't have a PlayStation, but
Toys for Bob is the perfect developer to be doing this. They were like big into the Skylander series, which kind of sprang out of Spyro. It's funny to me because I have no sense of what a Spyro game is like, that a subtitle for the series could be A Realm Beyond. It feels too grandiose. Or like, isn't what's fun about this is like a cute purple dragon? Maybe I'm thinking that he's too much like Figment.
From Journey into Your Imagination
at Epcot. And that's my baggage, Mark.
Thief, The Dark Project Remastered was announced. Will be releasing on both Nintendo Switch 2 and Switch, planned for this winter.
Yep.
Thief is never a series that I really got into because I was never a PC gamer, but I had a friend in high school who was really into Thief, and I remember having my mind blown by them because they're at least the first one, I think, maybe the second one too, is so famous for doing the sort of like the idea of like go anywhere, like your choices have consequences on the world, like sort of thing, very early.
Are they not also stealth games?
I think they are. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mark, I'm watching out for you.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
Don't get too excited about a stealth game.
Yeah. No.
You don't like it.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi World Tour, releasing 2027.
Great.
And then many, many more games, including a lot of indie games, announced for either Switch or Switch 2 or both.
I don't think we checked back in with the new Mega Man game.
No, wasn't anywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That game's further away than I think it is.
Did they announce a date on it?
I don't think they did.
Oh, okay.
I think they were very like don't worry about it. We're working on a Mega Man game, and we're probably smart to not put any kind of like year or anything on it.
Am I hallucinating the fact that they had a contest for Robot Masters?
They did have a contest for Robot Masters, and there was like there were like 5 finalists or something like that, and then I think there's like another round of contest. I don't know.
Yeah, but it just seems like that would require some amount of like development
because now they
time.
got theme levels around those guys and mechanics and all that stuff.
Yeah. Is that a game that like time has slipped away from me and it was announced like a year ago? Was it that long, or it was not that long? It was this year, right? This calendar year.
I think you're right. I'm gonna try to look it up.
Okay.
What is the name of this game? It's like Mega Man Dual something, Dual Override.
Yeah.
Here we go. Mega Man Dual Override. Okay, it is slated for a release next year. They put a year on it of 2027. But when did we get? Let's see if I go to the news tab here. It seems like it was maybe Game Awards last year.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So still basically within this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, not in any of the presentations of the past few weeks, but Square Enix has announced that Final Fantasy X and X-2 are getting Switch 2 versions.
Okay.
July 23rd.
I mean, like a Switch 2 version of Final Fantasy X/X-2 as like the one package that
one
you buy.
package. Yeah. Yes. July 23rd, $50. Seems to be the same features as the Switch 1 version, but probably like better resolution performance. I don't know. Even the product page doesn't really make clear what is specific about these, but
yeah, it's I have the Switch 1 version of these, and I don't think I've turned it on.
Oh, hi.
But it does I do think there's enough like murkiness around the like Switch 1 and Switch 2 versions of things. Like we don't have any indication here of like if there's an upgrade path.
There is not.
There is not.
There's no upgrade path. There's no saves don't transfer, anything like that.
Okay.
It's like the typical Square Enix. These are just,
If
for
you
all
wanna
intents and
buy it,
purposes, different games.
Right.
Also not part of any presentation, but Bandai Namco announced that Elden Ring Tarnished Edition will hit Switch 2 on August 28th. And it can be pre-ordered now. It will cost $80. And this Elden Ring Tarnished Edition was originally revealed last year with the Switch 2 reveal and was supposed to release last year. And then when it was seen at Gamescom that August, it was in rough shape. Eventually got delayed out of 2025 with no specific date, but it has been showing up other places in the past few months and looking a lot better by all accounts. And so now we finally have a release date for it at the end of the summer.
Why do you think we didn't see this release date at the Nintendo Direct? Because we got that little like peek at Duskbloods, which was also kind of nothing, right?
Right.
Like why not? Because like it's kind of like Duskblood's still in development. They could also be like, and Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. It just seems like this should have been at the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, although I feel like most often there are clearly obvious exceptions to this, but I feel like most often third-party games don't necessarily show up multiple times in Nintendo Directs. They kind of like...
I mean, but Duskbloods is the direct counterexample to that.
Well, but Duskbloods is a first-party game. Nintendo is publishing Duskbloods.
Nintendo is publishing Duskbloods. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Should I have it on our spreadsheet?
I think you should.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So, yes, that's why I think Duskbloods is getting the specific treatment it's getting. Well, also because it's having that online test this summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
But this is another third-party game that has been available for years, significantly cheaper on other platforms at this point. But I've never had an opportunity to play it, and so I do think I will probably pick this up.
Well, you say significantly cheaper, but like the DLC was paid DLC. So if you wanted to like get the whole package, you would have spent more than this. Even with the base game at a lower price.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, yes. I think, that totally makes sense. But it's been on sale, I'm sure,
That's
in
true.
like various forms.
You could have, right. And maybe if you'd been born into a wealthy family, that you wouldn't have to worry about the prices at all.
Exactly.
It's a lot of ifs.
There's a lot of ifs, but I do think I will end up picking this up. I don't know that I'm going to pre-order it. I don't really know that there's a point, and it feels like with maybe its rocky initial introduction that it would be worth waiting for.
Just wait. Yeah.
But most Switch 2 ports have so far turned out to be pretty good.
Right.
So hopefully that follows in its footsteps as well.
I do like that there is a sort of like overriding thing where people are either like, no, we're just going to delay it until we get it right, or Borderlands 4 just being like, no, we can't do it.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of like, just like farting something out and being
Totally.
like, make of it what you will. If you want to spend your $70 on it, we'll take it.
Yeah. 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 I'm trying to think if there's been an example of like a truly
like
bad,
disastrous port,
like big ticket. You know what I mean? Like big game that, and I feel like no.
Yeah.
So far, no.
Let us know if you know of one. Email us Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com or tell us in the Discord.
At the Xbox showcase, it was announced that Castlevania Belmont's Curse, which is the new like side-scrolling game, that was announced, I'm going to take a guess, earlier this year, will launch on October 15th, but not for Switch on that date. So the game was announced for Switch, but when they announced the date, the Switch logo wasn't present, and Konami clarified that Belmont's Curse is coming to Switch and is still planned for 2026, but the specific release date will be announced at a later time.
So later in 2026, later than October 15th.
Well, no, not necessarily.
Okay.
It'll be announced at a later time.
Oh,
but it's heading to
gotcha,
Switch in 2026. But yes, I think it's probably fair to intuit that it will be
right. It's not going to be on Switch first.
Right. Or seemingly on the same day if they're not even willing to.
Right.
Because the Xbox showcase was before the Nintendo Direct, so the thought was, oh, maybe it'll show up in the Nintendo Direct, and that's where the date will be revealed, but it wasn't in there, and so we just don't know at this point.
Okay.
So, but still coming.
A side-scrolling Castlevania game, an odd thing to need more time on Switch.
Right. You would almost think that you would prioritize Switch because it seems like
there's a
one of those platforms, that it's just a good fit for.
Or,
It'd be like if they delayed Mina the Hollower on Switch and Switch 2 to get it on other platforms first, and it's like, no, that
doesn't make sense.
That wouldn't have made sense.
Unless a specific platform was paying for exclusivity.
Right.
At which point you could, well, whatever.
Look, there's a lot of ifs.
There's a lot of ifs.
Maybe you were born into a rich family and your parents like bought that exclusivity for you.
Maybe if you had been born into a tall family and you were preternaturally good at basketball, that you could have become a famous athlete and then you wouldn't have to worry about money ever.
Right, and maybe you'd money hat games for your favorite video game platforms. You're just vindictive like that.
Yeah. Yes.
Lots of ifs.
Lots of ifs.
Since last week's Nintendo Direct left everyone like ravenous for any additional details about the upcoming Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time remake, let's talk about the briefest of descriptions for the game as it appears on the North American Nintendo website. Kind of like in the metadata, seemingly for a time on the North American Nintendo website. So if you search for
the game, the thing that like pops up that you click on to navigate to the game page has language about the game.
And it says, or said, I think they've changed it since
great.
this got clocked, but the classic N64, start all over, because I want to get this exactly right. The N64 Classic Reborn as a full remake for Nintendo Switch 2. Experience Ocarina of Time with stunning visuals, updated designs, and timeless gameplay. So,
yes,
not that much, but it is a morsel more than we knew before. So what does this tell us?
Well, okay, so again, we are getting the reborn language, right, as we got in the Direct. So just sort of like a reiteration of that. But then like the three things here are stunning visuals, updated designs, and timeless gameplay.
Now, timeless gameplay is interesting.
Timeless gameplay is interesting.
Because it seems to insinuate, or it seems to imply, that the core mechanics of the game will not be changing very much.
It does imply that.
Z-targeting's back.
Well, there's probably a lock-on for sure, but like you have to be able to freely control the camera, right? It's a game releasing in 2026, presumably. The thing that makes me the most like, okay, but this isn't anything, is, quote, the N64 Classic. Wouldn't, like, how many Nintendo editorial eyes did that go by that they didn't say like that should really say Nintendo 64 Classic.
No, you're right. From what we know,
Yes.
like that's probably why it got taken down, not for any other reason.
Right.
They were just like, this needs to say the Nintendo 64 game system or something like
That's
that.
right. We don't mind that you are leaking information about what this game is going to be.
Yeah.
But we are pedantically opposed to the way you are expressing this here.
Yeah, it's not the N64.
No.
It's the Nintendo 64 game system.
That's right. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we don't really get anything else from here. The timeless gameplay does have me a little bit like, oh, is this going to be like the exact same incident and like play area of the previous games?
Right. Which
It almost seems impossible, right?
it does. Yeah, I agree. It does. It would be kind of disappointing, I think, if that's what it turns out to just be, is a new coat of paint on Ocarina of Time once again.
The Hyrule field is too small for a modern game.
I think the towns like Castletown, it would be like comical.
Yes,
in
absolutely.
its current form.
Right.
And yes, you could stitch those like areas together, and I still think it's comical.
Well, totally, because it's like one courtyard and like one just like street that loops around. And that's the Castletown. It's just not enough.
Yeah, I don't think so. But so yeah, like everybody else, we are super interested to find out more. I will say that I thought that the reaction to the teaser online and like the art style was going to be much more negative than it was. I do think, like there are differing opinions and I think it's mixed, but I think I was honestly shocked at the amount of like people that were willing to be like, I'm going to wait and see what this looks like more.
Yes. Well, and that's I forget who, but there was a platform that put out there's sort of like internal search results for like every game after the this like week of new game announcements, and the Ocarina of Time remake is the most like searched for, talked about thing in all of these presentations. So like it is generating excitement. People are excited for Ocarina of Time, whether or not they had heard the leaks before, and are interested to like play this game when it comes out. The longer I sit with it, I still like wish we would have seen more.
Oh, for sure.
But like there, and kind of going on the like thought in my head of like, Nintendo knows the world that they're releasing this trailer into. They are aware of leaks, so they know that the hyper plugged in people already like were expecting this, and just the reveal that this game exists won't hit that hard for those people. But also like Nintendo's never really pitching for the moment. They are always like aiming for the sort of like timelessness of, they don't chase video game trends. They put out games and game announcements that they hope will last forever. And so just because I don't think that trailer, that little teaser trailer, met the moment, like I should stop expecting Nintendo to meet the moment, because they don't care about the moment. They make their own.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it. One, we see just that really brief glimpse of Link, but one of the things that I
loved seeing a new Zeltic video about about 6 seconds of footage.
But one of the things I'm really excited about is like the possibility of like, are we gonna get redesigned Gorons? Like, is all this stuff gonna look?
Yeah.
But like, new iterations of these characters, or these like, classic Zelda pieces.
Yeah.
It's just really, what is Jabu Jabu going to look like?
What's Jabu Jabu going to look like? What's that freak in the windmill going to look like?
Right.
Like there's are we going to get a better, they're going to be like a real shark swimming around that?
That's right.
Lake Observatory.
Or like the family that got turned into like Skeletas.
Yeah. I mean, like there's some horrifying stuff in Ocarina of Time. And like, if we're going to be rendering it with like some degree of verisimilitude, it's going to be gnarly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, bring it on. Whatever this is, I should stop. Like, well, I don't know. Healthy cynicism is good, but yeah, let's see what this looks like.
Okay. Anyone worried the remake Rayman Legends Retold would replace the version of the game currently available on Switch and other platforms can rest easy. Ubisoft social media accounts announced last week that the old version would remain on sale on platforms after the remake's release.
Yeah, which like that is a game that and like Ubisoft, or I don't know if it's Ubi necessarily, but there are publishers that do this kind of thing where they are they will put out like the remake, and that effectively like replaces the old version of the game. Partially I assume to like tamp down confusion in the market of like people just searching for Rayman and like downloading a game. But yeah, it seems like they're going to keep both versions of Legends up there. For now, that's what they say for now. Yeah.
In an interview with Kotaku about the Adventures of Elliot, the Millenium Tales, which again releasing this week, producer Naofumi Matsushita explained his team's surprise at player feedback that the companion fairy character talks too much.
Now, this is a complaint that I had, and I believe I voiced on this show, that as soon as you get, and her name is like Faye or something like that, or Faye, and as soon as you get her, she is like chatting with you like literally the whole time. And every enemy you encounter, and like that was close, like like treasures, buttons, like she calls out literally everything.
Yeah. So I think it's funny what he says here. So as for feedback that surprised us, it would probably be the request to reduce the frequency of Faye's dialogue, that she talks too much. Since we had been involved with the game's development for such a long time, we had naturally grown very fond of Faye ourselves. And in hindsight, I think we may have become a little biased because of that. We've since added an option that allows players to lower the frequency of her dialogue. So if it's something that concerns you, we hope you'll make use of it.
I will, thank you.
Yeah, I feel like just a good rule of thumb is companion characters should talk less. Make us want more dialogue versus begging for an option to reduce it.
Also, what a strange thing. Like, the longer I play a game with an annoying like companion character that won't shut up, the more mad I get at them talking. I'm never like, oh, but I love them so much.
Does this feel like people that have like AI girlfriends, where
maybe
it's
that's
just like,
yes.
we just got so used to having her around. We were like, more.
We didn't think it was weird.
Back in January, there was a new mysterious product code discovered in Nintendo's account portal, OSM.
OSM.
So we're requesting the product image for OSM from Nintendo's like backend returned an image of an illustration of a Switch 2, but the Switch 2 models code is BEE.
So what's going on?
Right. What is OSM? There was some speculation at the time that it was a new model that was being created to comply with the European Union's requirement for replaceable batteries in consumer products. And that's exactly what it is.
Great.
As confirmed by Nintendo of Europe, quote, for current products with model numbers starting with BEE, for future compliant versions will have unique model numbers and the additional code OSM visible on the packaging, designating them as separate products for regulatory purposes.
So this is good. We had this question. We saw it come up. We were like, what could this thing be? Posited possibly it was this like new version, which we've been clocking in like through a couple different news stories throughout the year, that like it is likely that they're putting out this Switch 2 with a removable battery to comply with European regulations. Here we have confirmation.
Perfect 3-act structure.
That's what it is. It's
and Nintendo nailed it.
It's a perfect story, and yet it's maybe the most boring thing we talked about today.
Well, if you're ready for a little heat, finally, Nintendo finally is in. Finally, this is the last piece of news for the episode.
It has two meanings,
and also
it's about time.
It's about time. Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo received an update unlocking a Donkey Kong Bonanza theme.
I don't totally get why now, in this moment in time, Nintendo is so like, hey guys, Donkey Kong Bonanza, right? That game rocks.
I know, yeah, with like the DK challenges.
The DK challenges with the Mario content coming to Emerald Rush, and now a theme coming to Alarmo.
But also I do. I think it makes a certain amount of sense in that it was an early Switch 2 release that I think they would love to see be a like evergreen title for the Switch 2. Yes. And I don't think I think it's performed. I have no idea what their expectations were, like in their internal projections or whatever. But I think it's performed well, but
not Mario Odyssey well.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Also, nice to see Alarmo alive. Do you think they're still manufacturing new Alarmo, or do you think they're still selling through whatever? That seems so unlikely to me that they. Or are they done? Can you walk into a store? Can you walk in, or can you order an Alarmo from Best Buy? I'm going to look it up right now.
That's a good thought. But even that wouldn't necessarily imply that
No, that it's new stock.
Right.
But I'm just wondering, like, are they only servicing the ones that are out there currently, or are people continuing to buy Alarmo?
How long have we had the Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo in our lives?
Well, you can in fact buy it from Best Buy.
Okay, great.
And I could walk into one near me and do it now. They're $110. Is that what they always were?
They were $100 when it launched. Yeah, they did go up. I remember seeing that on the list of stuff that was getting a price hike.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That when they were, it released in March. Oh no. So the Switch Online release, like that. When you could only order it if you were a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber in the US. Was
when you and I got it.
That was October. I pre-ordered it without having watched the trailer.
I love that so much.
October, and I still haven't opened it. October 9th, 2024 was when that released.
Okay.
So
coming up on 2 years.
Coming up on 2 years.
Sound Clock Alarmo.
The worldwide release where you could like get it from Best Buy and Amazon and stuff, that was in March of 2025.
And now it has the Donkey Kong Bonanza theme. I have not updated mine in a long time.
Oh, because you have to. It doesn't happen passively.
Honestly, maybe it does, but I would guess I need to go to like more themes and find it. It lives in the office / guest bedroom, so I really don't see it that often.
Sure.
Every now and then, like I'll walk into that room and it will like sense me in there, and there's just like a little like tone of it like registering that there's a person in the room, and I'm like, what was that? And then I remember that there's an Alarmo over there.
Did you update it with whenever the previous update was, where they like started allowed you to search by game, or it was like organized by game?
I don't think I have updated it since we moved into the house. Since November last year.
Yeah.
I should update it when I go home tonight.
Alarmo.
All right, Mark, let's get out of the news. That's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo. If you would like to be in our Discord, you should email us. We'll send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.